What's up, creepers? Welcome to Bryn and Phin Spoops.
I'm Bryn.
And I'm Phin, and I just finished apple juice.
Welcome to day 28. We are so sick of this.
I'm not.
You're so sick of it.
So at the start, I'm like, woo. Middle, I'm
now
like,
you're not even brushing your hair.
shush. And then in the middle, I'm like, and now I'm like, yeah.
Anyways, we watched another movie, so you don't have to. We watched 2019's Hellfest.
Hellfest. It's not that good.
They did this so much better when I was a kid in 1981. We called it Funhouse.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Shout out to my friend Gabby. Probably watched Funhouse on more than one occasion on our sleepovers. So there we go. Hey, Gabby.
I'm just saying, skip it. Just right out there.
So let's just break down Blumhouse. Jason Blum and Oren Peli, okay? So Jason Blum produced Oren Peli's, you might have heard of it, this tiny little film called
Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity was made on a shoestring budget and made scads of money. And it is the house that built Blumhouse. That is...
I'm a be low budget at first.
Yes, it's fine.
I'm making a low budget movie right now.
I'm not saying anything bad about it.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a pretty good movie.
I'm just saying. But out of these two geniuses, and they're kind of bros. Anyway.
Bruh.
Out of Oren Peli and Jason Blum's little group of friends, we keep getting these directors that they're like, hey, you've been hanging around on our set long enough. You want to direct a movie? Maybe they should stop doing that. This is directed by Gregory Plotkin. He's usually a producer on Paranormal Activity movies. They allowed him to direct Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimension, and if you missed it, it's okay. Most of us did.
I didn't. I mean, I did miss it.
He also directed the short Black Mass, and I saw Black Mass, and it was meh. It was okay. I don't understand why they're giving them this up. You know what? He did edit Get Out, and you know what? That was a great movie. He should maybe stay an editor. Maybe. The
Judge.
Most...
You can do any better.
The most talent in this movie is coming from their composer. They somehow lured Bear McCreary over, and I love Bear McCreary. He does a lot of television composing, most notably The Walking Dead. And I think he also did Black Flag. Something like that. Anyways, Bear McCreary is an amazing composer, and they spent all of their talent budget on Bear. So,
Bear.
Good job, Bear.
Bear. Oh,
Wasn't even that good of a soundtrack for this either. You really phoned it in, dude. Okay, so let's set it up. Hellfest is about...
Wait, before we get started.
No, I'm not. We have to tell them what it's about before we can rate it.
Okay.
We should tell them first what it is.
Nah.
Hellfest is about this group of kids that go to like a Halloween haunt or Not Scary Farm type situation. It's an amusement park that is turned into a big haunt at night. They actually filmed this at the Six Flags in Atlanta, I think. And so they basically used their Halloween haunt or Fright Fest or whatever they call it over there. I think they call it Netherlands. But anyways.
Netherlands.
Like the Nether.
In Minecraft.
Yeah. So.
Like that's the thing I think of. Minecraft.
Phin noted that, hey, this is probably a really, good place to kill people because they won't get noticed.
Exactly. Like you can wear a mask, everyone will think it's just part of the show,
and they had the same idea. So that's what it's about. It's a slasher movie in a park, and I give it 2 skulls.
Yep. Two skulls.
2 skulls. Maybe they should have given their slasher a backstory or
it's
at
just
least
this guy.
a reasoning. There was no backstory, no reasoning.
Like, I have this whole section in my
To be fair, they thought it was going to be like a Saw franchise, which was going to come out every single Halloween, and had no idea that, oh my God, this might fail. It failed. Woo. Gregory Plotkin. Sorry, dude.
Saw, that ending of Saw, though. I'm not gonna spoil it 'cause it's so good.
Nothing.
If you haven't watched Saw, go watch Saw.
Okay.
Do it now.
So we're telling you to skip it, and
Yeah.
we're now gonna break it down and spoil it for you.
It's just like, don't watch Hellfest, watch Saw.
I think we watched Hellfest on Hulu or AMC Plus.
Not on Shudder.
AMC Plus. That's where Shudder is.
I'm like, I want Shudder sponsor us.
No, we did not watch it. It's not a Shudder exclusive. Okay, so at the very, very beginning, it shows, it's like a like a prologue. So
yeah.
it shows a couple of girls, they get separated in a haunt.
And someone's chasing them.
One of them's been followed by this guy in a creepy mask. He's called the Other.
Dumb.
So we'll just call him the Other.
I'm just call him Murder Dude or
Just
something
call him
like
the
that.
Other because it'll screw it up if we call him different names. Just call him the Other.
The others,
That's what it says.
still don't want to say the other.
Anyways, she gets gutted and hung as a prop. And that's the end of the prologue.
Great prologue.
Yeah, okay, so Natalie, our supposed final girl, I mean,
It's pretty obvious.
if they're gonna show the girl first, it's usually the final girl, and she's just...
Was she blonde?
No, she was not blonde. She was
Haha.
also in this show. The girl that plays her, she was in this show. It's based on creepypastas, I think.
And she was a virgin, it seemed.
Maybe.
Right? Seems like how they kept talking
I don't
about
know.
her and stuff. So I'm like, what?
Channel Zero. That's the name of it. I'm just trying to remember the name of the show that she was on. Channel Zero is like a creepypasta type of show where every season they change it to a different creepypasta. And this was about a house that shows up in the middle of nowhere, and it's like a maze, and she gets out with her best friend.
Out with her best friend?
Yeah, she finally escapes. She's the only one that survives with her best friend out of the maze.
I see.
So,
I see.
yeah, so she's done this before. Okay, so anyways, Natalie is coming back from college. She shows up at her best friend Brooke's house.
I'm like, I didn't think you'd come. She's like, of course I came. The frick.
Brooke has got her new roommate, and it's their old friend from
Oh my god.
elementary school.
She is the worst.
Taylor. Taylor is played by probably the most well-known actor, Bex, sorry. The most well-known actor in this movie is Bex Taylor Klaus, who has been in a lot of things, notably the Scream TV series. Bex Taylor Klaus, they need very good direction because they tend to overact a lot, and they drove us nuts through this whole thing. Bex did. Oh my god. So
sorry.
their name is
but-
Taylor. They don't like Nat. Nat doesn't like Taylor, and Brooke is in the middle of all of this. So Brooke tells them that their bestie, that Natalie's crush, Natalie and Brooke are the two besties, and then we've got our side girl Taylor, and they said that Gavin got them VIP tickets to Hellfest. Hellfest. He got them tickets to Hellfest.
Hellfest.
Okay, so when they get to Hellfest, they're okay. So we've got our core 6 people. We have Natalie and her crush Gavin is there, Brooke with her boyfriend Quinn, and Taylor with her boyfriend Asher. And they're all going into Hellfest, and I think Taylor and Quinn tell them about the dead guy or the dead girl at Hellfest who everybody thought was a prop. I don't know if it was at Hellfest or if it was another
It's at Hellfest.
haunt. Okay.
It's at Hellfest.
That they thought was a prop. But then they were like, ooh.
Spooky.
Security lets, so they all go inside the park and stuff. And then they cut to security letting a guy go through. And
Yeah, steel-toed boots.
yeah, they're doing the metal detector check, and he has steel-toed boots, so they just usher him through. Security's pretty slack.
Ew.
They do shots, and they're trying to decide which mazes they're going to go do. And they decide that they're going to go do the Deadlands, which requires a waiver signed
already
because people touch them. No, they make that decision before they go. Like, that's one of the places that they're going to go. They're going to go to deform school first instead of reform school.
Grab. She picks you up.
It's the only way they can get to the Hell Maze is if they go through the Deadlands, which is where they can touch you and stuff. So
yeah.
Okay, so and Hell Maze is supposed to be the scariest maze in the park. So, okay, me and Phin did note they're total assholes. Like
They're touching everything.
they're just a-holes. Like I hate all of these characters so much, except Gavin.
Gavin's. Wait, which one's Gavin?
The love interest.
Oh yeah, him. I love him. He's great.
So the girls get separated from the boys and end up helping the other, who's chasing a girl through the maze.
And she hides, and they're like,
Oh, she's over there. They're like being funny, and they end up inadvertently helping him murder a girl because he's got like a knife to her neck, and Natalie's like,
just do it.
just do it. And he cuts her throat, and Natalie's like,
That's pretty freaking real.
that was realistic. It's kind of weird. She gets spooked and she leaves. And the other starts following Natalie around the park. She's pretty creeped out.
It's like a skin mask. It looks like.
She sees him again, and I can't remember where it was, but he does this whole shh type thing.
Oh no, it was they're walking away, and she turns back, and he's outside the door.
Yeah, that's it. Gavin and Natalie finally kiss. It's been a long time coming for this group of friends, but they kiss in a photo booth, and the other steals the photos because.
What a jerk! Like,
I'd like to know. Would you like to know? I'd love to know his motivation, but we don't get a motivation because reasons. I don't know why.
because they thought they were gonna make more, but no.
So Brooke chases the other down for the photos, and
She's like, "Excuse me."
Phin totally thinks Brooke is going to die. And then Phin also suggests this is probably the easiest way to go on a murder spree. Quinn finds Brooke. It's actually not. Anything that's changed at the front of the house is noticed almost immediately by the actors. So,
Well, not at the front of the house, inside the house.
no, front. Okay, front of the house means on stage. Like every place on Disney that's not backstage is front of the house. Okay. It's stage talk. You're gonna have to learn all about it. Okay, so
The actors usually notice, but the actors aren't in there.
there's actors in the park. Yeah, tons of them.
Yeah, but inside the mazes, usually he kills where there's not really any actors
Yeah, I guess
nearby.
The mazes are startlingly empty for some reason.
Well, there is a lot of people.
And
jumping
like
at them.
they show that the park is hugely crowded, but they're going through like really slow by themselves through these mazes. And I've been to a million of these haunts. I've worked a million of these haunts, and it's always super crowded, and there's people waiting to go. And anyways, Quinn finds Brooke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
she's-
finds her because she was like chasing him down for the pictures.
And
That's
she's like
right.
spooked, and then
She's totally
he's like,
spooked,
and she's like,
Gavin, so he basically
Quality
saved Brooke's
content.
life. Gavin makes an excuse to go back to the ring toss. He tried winning Natalie a prize at the ring toss, and he sucked at it, like hugely sucked at it. So he
like the guy working there is like, this is sad, dude.
so he goes back to the ring toss, and he's like, I've just spent $50 on this ring toss. Can't you just give me one of the prizes? And the guy's like, no.
It was
So
my job.
So he sneaks into the stockroom because I guess that's a thing you do, to steal one, to steal her the prize. And meanwhile, the kids are signing waivers to go into the Deadlands because they left without him. And he said he was going to meet them in the Deadlands after he gets whatever he's getting.
Deadlands, touchy, waiver.
And Gavin has found a really spoopy spot in the stockroom. It's super empty. Again, it's so strange.
There's usually people in the stock rooms.
Yes, constantly.
Because people are because it's so
Constantly
crowded.
in and out, and yeah, and they're trying to refill stuff.
And they're so long where they're just like nobody there.
It's really unrealistic.
So he just like there's this big hammer thing, and you know the bell
you just
hammer.
Want to go, huh?
This is just really he's like
They kill the love interest,
It takes a while.
But it's crazy. Have you ever seen where they like just murder the love interest right away?
Yeah, I know.
That was
But
nuts.
he was just grabbing one. He took forever to choose one. Then he found one, and then he got
The other
conked
has like
on the
a
head
big mallet.
for like it goes to the bell and that stuff. Sorry, I'm like trying to.
I know, and his head's on the pad where the target.
Before that, he gets conked really hard on the head, and you see his like neck go down. It's like ooh, and then he goes. And I expected to show in the shadow, you know. Like,
Yeah, but they did a whole
No, they
smooch
did a
on it.
whole his head.
It probably wouldn't look good if we freeze framed it.
Yeah.
So his head is mush,
true.
and they freaking killed off the love interest. And so all the couples pair off and leave Nat like hanging. She's just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here with my finger up my nose. So,
Oh
they
no, the ride
have to
shut
get
down.
on a ride. They have to get on a ride to get into the Deadlands. And so Taylor and Asher get on their own.
The couples get on their own.
Yeah, they get in their own
like a love
car.
channel.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Haunted Mansion, those little cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get into their own little car, and Natalie's by herself because Gavin's dead, but they don't know Gavin's dead. So,
Gavin just
and
seems like Gavin
there's a
bitched.
lot of making out in this scene. I'm just like, what the hell? I don't get on a ride and sit there and totally make out all night. It was
Well, you're also weird. You're not normal.
It was just too much making out. I mean, it's not even romantic. It's just people smashing their faces together. So the ride breaks down on Natalie, just on Natalie apparently, and the
They all.
and the others in
Because
there.
at the end, remember they all talked about it.
Okay. And the others in the ride watching her, and she's getting we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Don't lose your head. And I think it's Tony Todd doing that.
Well, he's
Our
like
Candyman.
getting closer and closer, and he's attacking her, and then it keeps going, and then her friend's here, and there's the guy on top of her.
She
Looks
passes
aside.
out, I think. She was her eyes were closed or something.
No,
He's
she was
sitting
looking
on top of the car when they come through, but there's a whole bunch of the others all around them. So you're supposed to follow the other into the Deadlands.
Yeah.
So now we don't know which other is who. You know, is the one that's killed.
Except for the steel toe boots.
Yeah.
That's the only way to tell.
So,
Steel toe boots.
So there's like this actor. There's like a body that's like got a big hole in it, and Asher sticks his hand in it.
And I'm like, that's a real body.
But
And
it
he's like-
wasn't a real body though. It
Yeah.
was fake.
He's like,
And then another
Grab.
guy picks, because there are a lot of touch things. So another guy picks up Taylor and runs with her, and then brings her back. And oh my God, this was such a bad movie.
It was.
Oh, and then a whole bunch of like Silent Hill type kids show up and lead them further into the park. And Finn's like, I hate them so much. I want them to go away. They should burn in a fire.
Everything needs faces.
And the boys,
You need a face.
they're faced with these two mazes, and the boys take one maze and the girls take the other maze.
Well, the boys take your worst nightmare. The girls take sleep like a baby.
Yeah. And the worst nightmare is a flashlight maze where you have to go through with a flashlight, and what was the sleep like a baby one?
The surgeon.
Oh, there's like this Dr. Satan
Type
from,
dude.
like, the House of a Thousand Corpses. He's in there, and it's kind of weird. Like, okay, whatever. Rob would be okay with that.
Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
It's a convenient last name for a horror director.
Well, he was in a band called White Zombie. He's a heavy metal singer.
Is that his actual last name?
That's his stage name.
Oh, frick.
It's okay.
Take this shot.
Take a shot? Is that what you just said?
She's like, frick.
Okay, so you know what? I'm actually just gonna speed through this because it's stupid.
Another shot.
People die, folks. People die.
And there's two people at the end, and he's
Natalie
never found.
and Brooke live, and then the guy goes home and he takes off his mask, and the little girl's on the couch. She's like, "Hey, Daddy, did you bring me back something?" And that's all the characterization we get of him. We don't even see his face.
He has a bunch of masks, so I guess they're planning on doing different haunts.
I guess.
Yeah.
It was stupid,
Dumb, and just skip it.
Oh God! It
Please
played on
skip it.
so many bad.
At the end, I was
tropes.
sitting there just bored.
Yeah.
The
we
middle
were-
was,
We
and then
were
it's just
waiting for
bored.
it to end. Like, that's not a sign of a good horror movie, waiting for it to end.
Yeah.
So we give it 2 skulls.
2 skulls.
Vote.
like and subscribe,
And
and we'll see you next time.